Writing equations from tables. Example number 1. Write an equation for the function represented in this table. So now, what I have here, if you want to choose to see it in a different way, is actually just a bunch of ordered pairs, right? I have this is 2, 1, and 4, 6, and 6, 11, right? There's just x and y values here. So what's great about that is that I can find the equation of the line the same way as with 2 points. I can just pick any 2 points, literally any 2. I could do this one and this one, I could do this one and this one. It won't matter. I'll get the same answer regardless of which 2 points I pick. So just for the sake of making my life easy, I would pick ones on the smaller end. Right, well, let's do these 2. So the 2 points I'm using are 2, 1 and 6, 11. Okay, now, here's the thing. The only thing that I need is the slope and the y-intercept, right? So whenever I'm going to write an equation of a line, what I need to keep in mind is the 2 things I need, which is the slope and the y-intercept. Now, you can use exactly the same strategy as we did in the do now. That will work. And I want to just point out really quick some other strategies as well. With regards to the slope is the change in y over the change in x, remember? So one way you could do it is you could just see, let's see, how is y changing each time? Oh look, add 5, add 5, add 5, add 5, right? Well, how is x changing? Add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. Right? So this is one way of getting the slope, of just noting it in the table. Now I will tell you it's a little bit harder to do if the table doesn't have a pattern. For example, this one has plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, right? It won't always have a pattern, and so it's a little bit easier if it has a pattern, but you can actually do it either way. You can just sort of look at 2 points like this and be like, what's the change in y? What's the change in x? Okay? And I just want to show you, so this is the slope right here. I can just use that slope, and I just want to show you really quick that it ends up the same if I use the slope formula here, right? This is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. I get 10 over 4, which reduces to 5 over 2. So regardless of how I do it, that's my slope. Okay, so now what I want to look for when I go to find the y-intercept is I want to see, is there a point where x is 0? And there's not. So I don't have that sort of easy shortcut. One thing I can do, and again, we're talking about multiple strategies here. This is 6, 4, 2. If this went one more to the left, x would be 0. And so if I could just figure out what this would be one more to the left, I could figure out the y-intercept that way. So if you want to sort of do that in your head and see if you can figure it out, that's fine. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of do it the way we've been doing it, right? Which is to plug into y equals mx plus b. I have the slope, which is 5 over 2. And I'm just going to choose this point, the smallest one. And that's the y value. So 5 over 2 times 2 is 5 over 2 times 2 over 1. That's 10 over 2, which is 5. So this is 1 equals 5 plus b. And then I subtract 5 from both sides, and I end up with 1 minus 5, which is negative 4. And that's my y-intercept. So that's minus 4. Okay. Example number 2. The table below shows the cost for an ice cream sundae. The cost varies based on the number of toppings on your sundae. Write an equation for the cost. Okay. So, first I want to point out, right, this goes up by 1, up by 1, up by 1, up by 1. This goes up by 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2. So already I could just figure out the slope like this. 2 over 1, which is just 2. Okay. Now if you want to do a slope formula, and you use 0, 5, and 1, 7, right, what it'll end up with is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And you literally get exactly the same thing. Okay? Either way, this is the slope. Now the y-intercept here, remember, we always look to see if there's a 0 in the x, and there is. That means the y-intercept is 5. Okay, wherever x is 0, that's what the y-intercept is. That's the y value is the y-intercept. So here, my slope and my y-intercept. And done.